Hey crafters, so today I am going to show you how to create this card using the Hero Arts kit, monthly kit that comes from Joann. So in this kit they actually gave you instructions how to do this card. This is the Make It Yourself at Home Heroes Art card kit, and this is the November 2021 kit, and they call this card the Oh Christmas Tree card. It does have instructions on it in the back, and I will follow some of this, but I did go ahead and create it myself, and I have a feeling I'm going to give you a little tip on how to create it just a little easier than what they told us to, because as you can see on the ink, I didn't get to ink it all that well, and I still love it because it gives it that faded vintage look. But if you wanted to re-ink it, I had to do it by hand, which is fine. You can do that if you have it by hand, but if you have one of those Misties, or I actually use the Press Advanced from We Are Memory Maker, the precision stamps. You could double stamp it, so I'm gonna show you a little bit of that. Plus, I don't have all the extra supplies that they say you can use, but I do have stuff that's kind of like it, and I hope you stay tuned and watch how quick and easy to create this simple card. You can make multiple of them for your holiday cards this year using the kit you can buy from Joann's, and I will link that below. So please stay tuned and watch the video. Okay guys, so this is the card we're going to be creating today, and this is what all the supplies you need to make this besides your white cardstock and your adhesive is in this kit. Now the extra glitter you don't have to have, that is something extra you can use, but you can stamp this card with all this stuff they give you. So this isn't everything in the kit. This is just a few things in the kit. So you get your 4 stamps. Sorry, these ain't stamps. These are stamping pads or ink pads, which you get green apple, fresh lawn, bubblegum, and strawberry. Then you get your clear stamps, which you can see I already used them. And you get your die cut, matching die cut to go along with it, okay? So to get started, and this one did come with the instructions. So on this one, they do tell you how to, sorry, let me turn it around, create this card. I did go ahead and create it myself. However, I did find some tips that I'm going to try showing you how to make this card. Because when I created the card, I followed along with the instructions. And when I stamped the Christmas trees themselves, I used a hand stamp or an acrylic base. But this time I'm going to show you how I think I want to try it with using, if you had a Misty, you could use a Misty tool. I do not have one of those. I actually bought myself, because of friendly budget reasons, I bought myself one of these, which this is a We Are Memory Precision Press Advanced. So it lifts up and then you just press it down. As you can see, this was 20 bucks at Hobby Lobby. So it is, you can find it for a pretty good price. I think that's the price you would pay no matter what. You cannot use, of course, they got rid of their coupons, but pretty good price. You can find it at Joann's and Hobby Lobby and Michael's, I think. But cute little sweet thing. You can actually, if you have multiple stamps, you can turn it around and use it. Pretty nifty. Works a little bit like a Misty, but it doesn't have the things. And say you have like a big page or a big something, you can actually take it off and press it down, so you don't have to use it with the actual base. You can use it without the base, so that's pretty neat. And you still can use it for a 12 by 12 card. So say you have a 12 by 12, you just line up each corner and stamp it. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so they do give you instructions on how to create this card. Oop, it's always upside down. However, I want to show you a little bit of a different way to do it. So it tells you to cut a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of white cardstock, which I already did. and then I already scored it, so you didn't have to watch me do that. And then a 4¼ by 5½ sheet of paper. Okay, so this is the sheet of paper I already cut. Now, when they show you to do this, they tell you to go ahead and cut out your die cuts from your piece of paper. So just to put your die cut down and cut it out. However, tonight I want to try it a little different because I would have liked my Christmas trees to be a little more green instead of this. You can see where some of the ink didn't come in. So instead of going ahead and die cutting it out, we're going to stamp first, okay? So I am using the 4¼ by 5½ piece of paper. Now remember, when you stamp, that's where your die cut's going to go. So if you want to line up your die cut, you could get your die cut out and make sure you line it up to where you want it to go, because you are stuck on there using the die cut to cut out the Christmas trees where you want it to go. However, I think it will be fine just using the stamping pad. So I'm going to get out the tree. Now, as you can see, I already used it with the red. Stained it a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead, get a little hair on it, and place it down where I think I would like it to go. Now, this doesn't have to be exact. You can change it up however you want a little bit. I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to take my We Are Memory Maker and just push it down, and you see it picks it up. Now, because it's a little sticky, because it's a new thing, it did move my paper a little bit, which is okay, because you can just put it back on there, see if it lines up okay. I think I'm pretty good. Now, I'm going to move this out of the way. You are going to take your lighter color, so I'm going to start with the actual green color first. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to take the lighter green, which is green apple, and just to show you what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to barely tap it on there. Now, the reason why I wanted to do it this way is because if I can't cover the whole stamp, I can actually stamp it twice and be in the perfect spot twice, instead of when I did it hand. I was scared that I wouldn't line it up correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it. Press it down. And I want a little more coverage, so I'm going to do it again. And then press it down, and see, it will be in the exact same spot, and you will get the perfect coverage. Now, see how I like that green better? And go ahead and show you the difference on the green, how it looks. So I really like that. Now I'm just going to wipe the Christmas tree a little bit, get the ink off, and then I'm going to make sure I dry it. I'm just using some water. And I'm going to take it off my pad. Now again, these instructions are given this time. Now in the past, I have gotten some that don't have instructions, and you just they give you like ideas, but they don't necessarily have the instructions. So I thought I would make some instructions on some of the ones that they have for you guys in the kit, because they don't always come with instructions. So perfect. So now I'm going to take the bubble gum, because you want to take the lighter color and do it first so the darker color shows up over top of the layer. I'm just going to put it down, push it down, and a few spots. So I'm going to go ahead, maybe not ink it up as much this time. There are a few spots on there on the edge that I'd like to get just a little bit. Just a little press this time. Oh, very pretty. So it's a little darker this time. Now you could go ahead and die cut it out if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and add the second layer of the stamp on there, so that way it's already there instead of doing it when it's die cut out. So I'm just going to put that back. And there are 3 different designs on this. You have one with the reindeer, one with the, sorry, I didn't know you could see, one with the Christmas ornament, and then one that's just kind of with the flowers. I did the reindeer on the back, so I'm going to do that again, because I'm not a big reindeer fan. So actually I said that wrong. So I'm actually going to do the Christmas tree one and this one. Now, with this, so I did a green one. Of course, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to do the green one with this one. So here's the neat thing about this. If you do it this way, and you have a Misty or a stamping precision pad, or I think even Stamp Up has one. I don't know what it's called. But if you have one of these types of things, you can actually do both of these at the same time. Where when I was doing it by hand, I had to stamp them separately. So I can actually line this up how I want it. Make sure it's lined up pretty good. That looks good. Pretty good. I'm going to move it just a little. I'm just going to line it up. And then I'm going to take it, just tap it down a little bit, pull it straight up, and push it down. And now I can actually take my 2 colors, so my green, just make sure you use the right color. So I'm going to take my fresh lawn and my strawberry, and to show you guys, just put it this way, I'm going to take it, and I get to do this at the same time. So this helps if you're going to create this card multiple times. You can actually do this at the same time instead of doing it separate. So that will take some of the timing off of there. Just make sure you're doing the right color on the right one. So of course if you mess up, you can redo it or use it messed up, because it might look cool that way. So I'm just going to flip it around, push it down, and then pull it up. And I'm actually going to do the green a little bit more, because that one did not come out as good as I wanted it to. So I'm going to stamp the green one a little bit more. The red one came out just fine, so I'm just going to leave that stamp there, even though I didn't ink any more of it up. And then I'm just going to put this back on here and stamp it again. Oh, yes, pretty. So see how that came out? So I have those 2, and I'm just going to give this a little wipe down since I am going to continue on. And then I'll just let it dry a little bit, because we are going to use the other Christmas tree next. So I'm just going to let this dry for a second. But see, now you already have that done. So now, with your die cut machine, all you got to do, so you already have the negatives ready to go. And instead of having to stamp it, all you got to do is line up your die cut, and then you have your negative ready to go instead of having to cut this again. Or not cut it, stamp it. So that was my only little tip, is you might want to do it this way. It's a little faster and a little easier, being that I don't have to make sure I line the stamp up with the cutout, where this way I'm cutting out the stamp. Now I'm just using a little bit of tape. This is actually, I forgot what tape this is, but I am kind of using it on my hand a little bit, because it is a little stickier than it needs to be. And I just have a Big Kit 6 machine, probably one of an older style one. Just going to wipe it clean a little bit. So I got this years ago, so I probably have this white and red. So it tells you how old my die cut machine is. Just run it through really quickly. And then we'll switch the Christmas tree over to the other one. So there you go, there's your die cut out. And then all I gotta do is take this, lift it up. No, that's okay. We'll fix that a little bit. So a little bit of a sticky spot there. So it pulled up some of my my paper, but that's okay. You can always cover that with a stamp or a little rhinestone or something. You want to add a little extra flair to it. But I am going to stick it on my hand again, just to make sure it doesn't happen this time. So see, on the instructions they give, you would now have to stamp your cutout, which is fine too, if that's what you want to do. But for me, I feel like this is a little easier, and I can double the stamp, like I showed you guys, and made it a little darker. So now we are done with the die cut machine. We're going to put that to the side because we do not need it anymore. Alright, so, actually I could turn it over, but I don't want to turn it over. I'm just going to take that off. Got a little piece there too. So sometimes that happens, but it'll be okay. So, I'm going to put my die cut away so I don't lose it, because you do not need it anymore. And of course the tape's sticking to it, so we're going to put it back there. Behind. Okay, so now you have your cutout. So here's where, if you would have cut it out, so if you would have cut it out first, like the instruction said, you would have had to use your acrylic block to stamp it and see if you could do it that way. However, like I said, I felt like this was a little easier because now I don't have to stamp these, and I got a darker look this time than the last time. So the last time I did this, this is how these looked, and you can see that they're already darker, but it will still work however you want to do it. So now you're going to put these aside because you're going to use them. And you're going to line this up. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either use your MISTI and adhere it to it, but I think I'm just going to take it. I'm actually going to use the other side because it's a little bigger. So I'm going to line it up, and I'm just going to put this little piece of tape on it to hold it in place. So you can do this however you want. You can use your magnets. You can, however you want. Where did my thing? Oh, there it goes. But I'm just going to do it this way. I am going to put it back in my machine, or my stamping thing. Now, if you wanted to still use just the two trees, like you did, you could just leave them where they are and put them on there. But I do like having the 3 separate trees that they give you, so I'm just going to put these back. And I'm going to use the 2 deer ones in the background, so it kind of looks a little different. So I will have to do this twice. So I'm just going to sit here and line this up in the blank area, like so. Then I grab my thing, stamp it on there. Pick it up. Now, you can use whatever color you want. However, I'm going to use the lighter color, and I think it says in the background to use, or in the instructions, not the background, in the instruction kit to use the lighter colors. So we're going to use the lighter color. So I am using green apple. And I'm just going to stamp it on there. And then just take it, push it down a little bit. Now, here's again where you can see it's not as dark, so I'm going to stamp it again. And this again is cool because then you don't, if you're using a hand acrylic block, you'd have to make sure you line it up correctly. Where if you're doing it like this, you don't have to. It stayed right where it needs to stay. The holes line up, and just press it down. Whoops, like so. And you get a deeper color. So now I'm going to take that off. I like kind of just wiping it a little bit before I put it up. Or not put it up, but before I put it on the other one. So I'm just kind of cleaning it a little bit. So that way it doesn't, the color green doesn't come off when I lay it down on this one. So we're just going to move this out of the way for a second. So we're just going to lay it down on this one and fix it where you think it goes. Like so. Pick it up. Now I'm going to use bubble gum. Bubble gum, bubble gum. push it down. And again, if you want, that one looks pretty good, but I think I'm going to go ahead and ink it just a little bit more. Maybe not put as much ink on it, and then maybe not push in the middle of this, because when you push in the middle, it'll give you more, so I'm just going to use the little tabs and push down. And that gives you a little more look to it. So I'm just going to lay that to the side, because I won't really need that anymore. And I'm going to pick this up. And lay this off to the side because you won't need it. So I'm going to take this off. And as you can see, you have it there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use either whatever you have to make it 3D looking. So you have foam tape, you have 3D tape, whatever you use. So I'm going to actually open this up. And before I opened it up, actually, I'm going to do this. Because you can do it first, but just so I don't mess this up, you're actually going to stamp your Oh Christmas Tree saying on your cutout and your stars. Oh man, I had ink on my hand. That's okay. Make sure your hands are clean, because I just got ink on this. But that's okay. Little ink on it's not going to hurt. So, I'm going to take Oh Christmas Tree, which is this one, and I'm going to line it up where I want it. And then I'm actually going to take a star and line it up down at the bottom too. Okay. So I'm going to move it down a little bit because we're going to adhere that one tree there. Okay. So, put some tape on it. So I'll pick that up. Now I'm going to use the red strawberry for the Oh Christmas Tree. And then I'm going to use bubble gum for the star. And I'm just going to press that down first. Then I'm going to take acrylic block. You can remove this now if you want, or leave it on there. I am going to take an acrylic block because the star is so little. So this is how little this star is. Didn't know my map moved. See how I stamped it? And the star is so little that I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to take the pink, and the pink is actually on top. So I'm just going to kind of take it and put some stars different places. Now, if you don't push as hard, and this is where you might have to take it off, being that this is a little bit smaller. I'm just going to take it off. I'm just going to stamp some stars randomly. And I did try to give like a little light star, so it's very light, which is fine. And you can do as many stars as you want. And then I am going to take the red and just add maybe 1 or 2 red in there, just to give it the extra little redness to it. I'm going to stamp the red one there, and then maybe a lighter red here. Now, I did do more stars, and then let's just go ahead and stamp it over there. I did do more stars this time. It's fine. It's your project. You can do as many stars as you want, or as many not stars as you want. You didn't have to do stars. So again, you're just randomly stamping the stars where you want them. Put one over there on my mark. Makes it look a little different. No right or wrong. It is your project. And then I am going to bring in the darker green this time and stamp some of the darker green. Oops. Got some of the ink on the acrylic. So just a little bit of darker green, and this one's probably bright enough that I can just stamp it like that. That looks good. Alright, we're just going to do 2 of those. Alright, so I'm just going to put that off to the side, and now we're going to put it together. So you have all your pieces you need now. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere it with the Foam tape. So I actually have 2 different foam tapes. I get mine at the dollar store, and it comes in a pack of 3 of rolls, different sizes. There's even a bigger size. And then I tried this too. So this is actually not even in their crafting area. It's just off to like their area where they do like car stuff, I think it was. I don't know. So these are just little squares or little rectangles, and I'm just going to put them on here in these areas like so, where I feel like I can put them. And then I'm going to use, actually I'm going to use one right there. Then I'm going to use the tape I have. So let's put that over the tape. So then I'm going to use, and I might have put that a little too close, so I might have to use the smaller one. So we're just going to use the smaller one. That will fit. And then we're just going to put that on there. And then, like so. So I'm just using the foam tape. So like I said, this is what I get from the Dollar Tree for like, I get 3 rows for $1, and I can get about, depends on what kind of card you make, but you can get about a couple of cards, maybe 5 cards out of all of it. I don't know. You can get a bunch done, depending on how big of 3D you need. So again, you're just going to line this up. This is not a very hard card or a card that needs a lot of work. It's very simple. Now right here, do be careful, because if you get it too close, this is where I actually snipped it a little bit, just to make sure that I'm not in that little hole. So. And then you're just going to take your card. You can open it or you can leave it shut. And you're going to line up you're going to line it up. Just taking off the backing. One more. Okay. So I actually am going to take one more of this rectangle and put it right here, because I want that to be okay. Okay. So now you're going to take your cutout and you're going to line it up with where you stamped. Ugh. This is very sticky. So you can also just line it up with the top, because once you line it up, it should line up perfectly. Now, if you wanted to, you could have this card right here. So this could be your card. So this is another option you could do. You could have just this card right here. Or we're going to take just a few more steps. And I'm actually going to use the bigger foam tape. We're going to 3D this too, or use foam tape for this too. I'm just adding some foam tape to it. I'm actually going to use the thinner one now, and I'm going to cut 2 little small pieces just to put right here at the bottom of the tree. And then I like to go and put some. Now, do you have to make it 3D? No, that's totally up to you. In the instructions, it does say to do this, but you don't have to. It's whatever you want. I just wanted to show you guys how easy and simple it is to make this card with the instructions they give you. I just like to put that a little more. Now you don't necessarily have to put this many pieces on here. I'm just doing it because I like to make sure that it stays kind of flat when you put it on there. But you could have just left it like this and used just the center pieces, or, you know, again, this is up to you how you want to do this, but I'm doing it this way so that way it's all 3D. And then once you put these on your card is finished. So we're almost done. So again, this is an easy card that you can mass produce quickly. So you're just going to line up, I'm going to do the pink one first, or the red one. And I'm just going to take off all these backings. Now, this is what comes in the kit, and you could be finished after this. So your card could be perfectly done with everything that they give you in the kit. Now, if you have extra stuff, or you just bought the kit just to create the cards, that's fine. But if you have extra stuff or extra bling, you can bling it out, and I'm going to show you how I blinged out the other one. You're just going to put this however you want on here. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit. That's so. And then take the backing off the green. And then I don't have, they actually say you can use the Hero Art Sparkle lacquer pen. I don't have that. I actually have basically I have the Stiglitz Stardust glitter from Ranger, and that's what I used on the other one, so I will show you how to use that on this one. Basically, it's like puff paint, but it's puffed glitter. Oh, come on. Now this stuff is very sticky from the dollar store. I don't have to have a problem with that's for sure. And then you're just going to take it and lay it wherever you want on this one. I'm actually going to move it over a little. Now I actually covered up one of my stars, and that's okay. You can always add more stars if you want. So here's the two cards. So with this card, I used the glitter on it. On this one, you could be perfectly finished with it and be done. But you can see we're using the stamping pad or the precision or whatever thing you have. You can ink darker. If you like the lighter vintage look, you can do that. Now just to show you, I just went in here and added some sparkles here. Just like a dab there, not even anything there, but just added some sparkles into wherever you want. So I'm going to add it here. Oops, now you can add rhinestones, you can add whatever you want to your card, or you could be finished. So just kind of whatever you want to do with it. And then I can get out of it. So once that dries, it'll give you that extra little sparkle to your Christmas trees in there. But look how cute and simple and sweet that is. So 2 cards already finished, and it was very simple and sweet, fast, took about 30 minutes. But you could mass produce this and send these as your Christmas cards. Again, everything you need to create this card comes in this kit. You get your die cut, you get your inks, you get your clear stamp, and this time you get the instruction sheet with it. But they do offer other ones, so please stay tuned. I will show you how to create some of the other ones using some of other inks I have and just using these inks. So stay tuned. Please watch my video, like it, and subscribe.